Okay, so now in this video, we're going to look at the Unit 2, Activity 2 assignment. And there's one assignment. It's called Plot Questions. And so what you're going to do is you're going to read a story called 11. And the story is about a girl who is celebrating her 11th birthday, but a problem at school is going to ruin her day and ruin her birthday. And it's a very short story. If you click on the PDF version here, this is what it'll look like. It'll open up on the internet for you, and you can read it. And it's about 2.5 pages. If you click on the Microsoft Word version, it'll open like this. And again, it'll be about 2 pages, and you can read it as a Microsoft document. So whichever way you prefer to read it, go ahead. And while you're reading, you should focus on the story's plot structure and conflict. So we talked about the exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. So see if you can kind of see those parts of the story in action as you read. In particular, see if you can see where the main problem starts, which would be the beginning of the rising action, and see if you can identify the climax when that problem reaches its peak and reaches its outcome. Also, take a look for the conflicts in the story and see if you can identify more than one conflict. So character versus character, character versus self, character versus environment, character versus society. See if you can find at least 2 conflicts in this story. Okay, so once you've read the story, you can answer the 5 questions, and most of them are going to have to do with conflict and plot. So, for example, the first one's going to ask you to identify 2 different types of conflict in the story and to provide examples of the conflict. So, if you say character versus character is in the story, well, give me an example to prove that. If you say character versus self is a conflict in the story, give me an example to prove it. So 2 types of conflict and an example for each of the types of conflict. Number 2 is going to ask you to describe when the rising action begins. So when does the conflict start? The main problem in the story, when does it begin? Describe that moment. Number 3, describe the climax. So when does the conflict reach its peak? So whatever that main conflict is that you identified in the rising action, when does it reach its outcome in the height of the action? Number 4, do you agree or disagree with how Mrs. Pryce handled the situation with the red sweater? Mrs. Pryce is going to be one of the 2 main characters. And what I'm asking here is, if you were in her situation, how would you have handled that situation? Would you have handled the situation the same way that she did, or would you have handled it differently? And make sure you explain your opinion and give me details from the story to support why you think she handled the situation correctly or incorrectly. I think this question will make a lot more sense after you've read the story. Number 5, describe Rachel, the main character, in 4 or 5 sentences. So in the last activity, Unit 2, Activity 1, you looked over character traits and you did a character sketch for a character in a short story. So I'm asking you to do something similar here. I'm asking you to describe Rachel. Give 3 character traits. It could be a physical trait, a personality trait, a value, a belief. But give me 3 things about her, and then give me examples to support it. So, for example, if you're going to tell me that one of her personality traits is that she's shy, well, find something in the story to prove that. So you have 3 character traits and an example to support each one of those character traits. So you can answer these questions in Microsoft Word, or you can answer them in Google Docs, whatever you normally do, and then you can submit it to the Dropbox just as you normally would. And that's it. If you have any questions about this assignment, please let me know.